Hello, everybody, and welcome to Know Your Shit podcast, where our knowledge and pride in what we do drives us to be excellent. My name is Josh Cadillac, and I'll be in the driver's seat for today's show as we learn how to stop chasing paychecks and start closing customers for life. And we do that the same way every week by interviewing some of the most successful people in the industry, in the world, who have found success and ask them a little bit of how they got there. We have a great guest for you today in the person of Mr. Brett Miller. Brett, thanks so much for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Josh. It's great to be here, man.
Great to have you, man. So, Brett, what is it that you do?
Thanks, man. I'm the CEO of Galileyo. So we're a satellite social media platform. Basically, we connect to a smartphone. We download our app on a smartphone, and then we'll connect to any satellite device that you have, whether it's like a satellite phone or if it's like a bivy stick. So you can do your fun stuff online, set up your messages with your friends, your family, and then if you happen to lose Wi-Fi or cell, you're always connected.
Good stuff. What got you started doing that?
So God, I was saying some prayers after COVID. I lost a career that I was working on. I moved out of Los Angeles. My father passed away all in the same time. So I relocated and was looking for something to do. And I was saying some prayers, and I ended up going to a show and meeting Michael Yon and Ivan Reichlin, who I was backstage. And I had this idea because I used to work comms in the military, and I was also search and rescue, and I was an Eagle Scout way back in the day. So outdoor hunter, fisher kind of guy. But I had this idea with everything that was going on at the time. And I was kind of pitching this satellite social media, like set up this off-grid connective place in case they come and get us kind of thing, with the conspiracy mind. And
so I can have my Facebook feed. Yeah, I got you.
I know, they're like, someone's watching Big Brother. So I was like, just kind of talking this idea.
Success came from for you?
You got to work hard, and you never take no for an answer. I think if you can figure out, what you want, and it can't be a selfish want. I can tell you that. It has to be something bigger than yourself. I feel like I think if you go at something for yourself only, you're destined to fail, or at least you wind up alone. But if you have an idea, you have a plan, you work hard at it, and you see the big picture, and just never take no for an answer, I would say, and always find a way.
Okay. What do you think in your makeup makes you good at what you do?
I'm a conspiracy theorist. No, okay. Maybe a little bit. I like, I don't take no for an answer. I'll figure it out. I'll find a way. And, I like challenges. So I think, my ability to see the end result and push forward is beneficial to what I'm doing right now.
That would make sense. Where do you think the passion comes from? What makes you passionate?
Um,
You obviously care. Where do you think it comes
yeah.
from?
Uh, Personally, I think shifting into, I became a parent, many years ago, and that changes things for people. It changes things for you. You start to, again, you're not worrying about yourself. Now it's like, hey, I got to set something up for the future, and the
Yep.
future and the future and the future's future, because, I stumbled on this idea that if we're here now, we're connected to the beginning, right? You're a survivor. Your family's survivors. You've been here since the
Yep.
beginning, and everyone's made it. They survived wolves and attacks and bears and snakes, whatever else, the diseases, pandemics, and you're still here. So, and if you have children, you're passing that on. So you're a lineage of survivor. So I think I think a lot of the motivation in that, everyone should have that pride and realize, like, hey, man, every one of my family members survived to get me here. I'm not the one that's going to drop the ball. I'm going to keep
Good
pushing.
stuff. I'm gonna take and own that heritage. I'm with you. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So, in keeping with that, one of the things that successful people don't often talk much about is they talk about how hard the journey was, but not so much about how they dealt with themselves through that. So,
Yeah.
how do you manage unmet expectations where there's these great opportunities that customer, it's if man, if they come on board, it's going to be a game changer, and
Yeah.
instead of a silver platter with sirloins, or forget sirloins, ribeye steaks, you get a big steaming pile of poop when it's done.
Yeah.
How do you take and deal with that?
Yeah. That's life. Life is
Sinatra's
life.
got a song about that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Let's play it. I love that song.
It's a good song.
It's the truth though, right? Like, I mean, you're gonna get handed, what do they say? You can wish in one hand and in the other and see which one
Yep.
fills up first. So,
Absolutely.
you gotta push through. And, I think it's that line from Shawshank Redemption at the very end where Tim Robbins' characters, it's like Andy had to crawl through 300 yards of the smelliest funk ever to get
Yep.
to get the freedom on the other side. So it's like, and who else said it? Theodore Roosevelt, what do you say? If you find yourself in the middle of chaos, keep going, don't stop, something like
Yeah.
that. I think it was him or somebody. So
There's a
yeah,
lot. Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of them, right? And that's just the testament to, the fortitude of you as an individual and this nation and
Absolutely.
success.
No. There's no way to sit here and read about both the revolution and then the War of 1812
Right.
without seeing a plucky bunch of folks that just wouldn't take no for an answer.
Yeah,
Really is a
that's
thing.
and those are the people that you see. Those are the people that strive. Those are the ones that succeed. The ones that don't quit. The ones that decide, hey, I'm going to do this no matter what, and I'm not going to stop. And
Yep. The ones
like
that
my
don't
dog.
complain and put their head down and do the work.
That's right.
So let me ask you this. What is a tool that you would suggest, something you would suggest to help our listeners?
Ooh, calendar and a pencil. I think. Seriously, I mean that.
Yeah, no, I'm with you.
I do physical writing, physical stuff still. I take physical notes. I could do AI automation, and then we have all the features, and I have all the bells and whistles, and I know all the programs. But for me, like, I had a math teacher in 8th grade that said, "Put that pencil on the paper. Put that pencil on the paper." And I can still hear her today saying that. So I feel like, if you have a physical calendar and you have a physical representation of your physical life, and you're physically applying things to that, it becomes part of your day. It becomes part of your routine, and it keeps you on track. I think because it's a physical thing as opposed to, what
Yeah,
we're accustomed to
provide
is it's
provides in
virtual.
built-in also provides in built-in accountability. I mean,
That's right.
I get away from that by having monitors that have my calendar open all day long. So
Right. Well, there's that.
it's looking at me, because otherwise, it becomes digitally, and if I just don't look at it, it's not
Right.
there. Well, me, I leave
Yep.
it staring at me all day long because I need that, constant reminder of this is the next place that your soul is owed to the company store.
I know it was a good day at work. At the end of the day, if I'm cleaning up eraser scraps, I'm like, oh man, I worked hard today. I'm getting them all off my desk.
Stuff got done. Absolutely. Now, guys,
Yep.
I want you to realize this is a tech entrepreneur here who's telling you he's physically doing it, because one of the things that we talk about is like, what's the tool to make the horse run? And every horse doesn't run. Some horses, it's the sugar cube, it's the carrot. It's what's the thing that's going to make the horse run? What are the tools? What's the cheats? What's the way to take and position this stuff? Because I got to figure out how to get out of me what I can. So let me ask you this, Brett, where do you see the opportunity in the market today? What's the thing that's got you excited?
Oh, well, I mean, we're kind of ahead of the game. You know, my platform, my app can connect to satellites right now. And so I beat you, Elon. Haha, just kidding. But I did, right? Like, you know, we can do it. He has the satellite company. That's what everyone's working on. So that's what I'm excited about. And, you know, not really the competitive part. I'm just kidding about that. Twitter is awesome. It's a platform we use. I love it. It's cool. But, you know, this is the direction.
I believe it's the artist formerly known as Twitter at this point.
Oh, right. Sorry.
No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's funny. It's the direction we're going. You know, the direction we're going is connectivity to the world, anywhere, anytime, anyhow, you know, and in your pocket. So the tech, you know, really isn't there a lot. Well, the tech is getting there. It's getting very close. And I don't know if you just saw T-Mobile and just announced with Starlink, and Apple has their new phone that has the satellite/roaming feature. So, I mean, we're right there. Some of the older satellite companies, or I don't want to say older, the long-standing satellite companies like the Iridiums and the Inmarsats, these networks that governments use and militaries use, you know, they haven't advanced into this area yet. So what we're doing is kind of bridging the gap for new tech people, the first users, the people that buy the new phones, and the people that have the old tech that still have the durable, waterproof, you know, satellite antenna that they strap to their backpack, or the sat phone. You know, we're bridging that gap for people and moving into this, you know, unique place where satellites and cell may not be distinguishable anymore. So I'm just excited about that.
What you're saying is the existing players in the space missed the opportunity once again. So IBM missed the PC. Missed PCs. Western Union missed telephones.
Blockbuster missed streaming. They missed
the railroads, missed air travel, right?
Exactly.
About the only one that I know that actually got it right are the oil companies, because nobody invests more in green energy than oil companies. They know it's coming. You know, it's a thing. But so looking at
I wouldn't say they dropped the ball, because, you know, we're moving into it. But I do think that, you know, when you have, you know, people, or you have companies like X and the ingenuity like Starlink, and, you know, wherever the money comes from that, NASA, that's okay. But, you know, when you have all these tech and you have all this innovation, you know, you can't sit on your heels, right? Like Chevy is getting beat out, or was getting beat out, you know, a couple of years ago by Toyota and, you know, all these other car companies. So it's like they had to up their game a little bit and come out with some new innovation. So I feel like, you know, in this space right now with communication, that's what's happening. You know, I will say that if the Wi-Fi cell goes out right now, it doesn't matter what app you have, they're all going to go. You know, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or X, formerly known, whatever, all of them, they're all going to go. You know, and we're not. We can still download our app. You can still connect. If you have a satellite device, we can still connect you to that, to your family, to your friends. You can track offline. So, you know, I feel like that's really, well, I was just answering your question. Go ahead.
I very much appreciate what you're saying. What I was saying was the satellite people that are the existing satellite players in the space, the Iridiums and those guys, they had the leg up to be doing this. They probably could have been. But,
I mean, shout out to Iridium. I like the Iridium network, and I've been trying my hardest to get a hold of them and be like, listen, we can do this. I can stand you up. We got the tech. So, you know, and we're working with other, you know, I've had some conversations with some other big platforms, some of the newer ones that are out there. And, you know, as far as licensing or partnerships even, or investments, so that I can help them, you know, advance their users, or their networks, so that their users can then connect to the satellites as well. So there's some cool talk.
Yeah,
someone's going to call me.
Yeah, somebody's going to solve it. It seems like you've solved it, and so the question is, you know, is it a partnership? Is it an acquisition? What's it going to be? But, you know, that's the place to be. What would you say is the most important thing that you've learned in the process of doing what you've done, Brett?
Ooh, uh, never, never stop learning. I mean, I learn new stuff every day. I feel like most important is integrity. There's a lot of people that don't have integrity out there, and you come across them. But if you hold to your integrity and your friends and the people that you work with, your associates, your employees, your partners, all of it, if you hold your integrity and you stick with people that held to their integrity, it's very easy to see the people that don't. And I think
Yep.
that's one of the most important lessons is just don't ever mess with someone who you have a bad feeling about, because it's going to end poorly. That's why you have that initial feeling. So trust your gut.
Yeah,
And
yeah, you got to go with your gut, man. It is
go with
such a
your gut.
truth.
Yeah,
It
100%.
seems silly, it seems arbitrary, but yeah, you get a bad feeling about somebody, and I've talked myself out of the bad feeling and regretted it every time.
Yeah, what was her name? No, I'm just kidding.
That yeah, that it's
Just kidding.
there's there's some truth to that too.
Exactly.
All right, so this is a little bit more just to get to know you a little bit better, Brett.
Sure.
And so, kind of just your first responses to these, a little bit more of a lightning roundish kind of thing. What would you say
Okay.
you're most proud of in business that you've accomplished so far?
I mean, I've done a lot of cool things. Uh, have some projects out there in the ether that you could watch, and I've met a lot of great people. I know a lot of cool people, household names and stuff. But I feel like in business right now, what I'm doing is very important, and I'm very proud of it. I'm proud of this app. I'm proud of being able to help families connect. I'm proud of being able to come and talk to great people like yourself, and just kind of instill in people that you can do whatever you want. Just hold your ground and never say no.
Good
So
stuff.
I never take no for an answer, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a perfectly good. And similar question, but what are you most proud of in life you've accomplished?
Oh, being a parent, definitely being a dad is the coolest thing I think ever. Changes you, like I said earlier, and
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not easy. I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying I'm even great at it, but I work at it, and
Yeah,
it just feels good, and the end result is really cool. So I
love
encourage
it.
everyone. Yeah.
All right, Brett. There's a real possibility that many of our listeners are people that you will never meet, and
Okay.
so that being the case, if you could give them one piece of advice, what would it be?
Um, Stay humble and stay true to yourself and say your prayers.
There
There's
you go.
there's more power in prayer than we've been led on to,
I
and
believe that.
being a healthy mind, a healthy body, and a healthy spirit, a healthy soul is the key to happiness. I truly believe that. So
I believe
yeah.
that is a very true statement. Um, if you had to narrow it down, what one book would you recommend to our listeners?
Ooh, I mean, not to be cliche, but Rich Dad Poor Dad is a really great book when it comes to understanding the world and finances. And you can go down that track with the Jekyll Island. And,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
Future of Jekyll Island. Yeah, I read
yeah,
that book.
yeah, there's a lot of good books out there. I think the Bible is the book that I
Can't go wrong.
read the most,
Yep.
and a little bit every day, just while I'm stretching or after a workout in the morning. And
Food
sometimes
for the
just if I'm looking for an answer and I don't have it, I'll just open up a page. It might not give me the exact answer, but it'll give me a direction to start pursuing. So, yeah, again, I don't want to say the same thing over and over again, but I think having a strong personal relationship with your creator and realizing that we are just here for a short time and we're here for a purpose, and will help you find your purpose and then feel supported.
Absolutely. No, no. I could not agree more, man. Food for the soul. We got to keep the soul healthy as well.
That's it.
It's a balance. All right. Favorite movie of all time.
Oh, you can't do that to me. There's too
I just
many.
did it.
You
I
just
know.
did it. I mean, probably Southland Tales,
Okay.
not the TV series, the old movie with The Rock and Justin Timberlake and
Okay.
Stifler's in there. It's about the end of the world happening, but it's just silly, but it was very, very well written. And but I worked in entertainment for a long time. I worked in film. I've written some films. I love movies. I think movies are great.
Movies are awesome.
Except some
Yeah,
of the
yeah.
recent ones on Netflix. I don't know. They lost the point. They lost the
Very much
transit.
so. Very,
Yeah,
very much.
but
It's hard to. I mean, you see a movie like a decent movie comes out, and it's like such a breath of fresh air.
yeah, and
The
well,
new
we used
the
to
new
have like
Top
20. Oh, go ahead. Go
the new Top Gun movie was just such like, oh, they made a
ahead.
movie that was just entertaining, and I
Yeah.
was entertained. Wow, what a novelty! Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's a great
I mean,
film, right?
it's good old fashioned fun.
It really was. Like I am no smarter and I am no better as a human being, but you know what?
But I feel good. I feel
Enjoy
good. I'm
the
tired of movies that make me feel bad. Why are you trying to make me feel bad? I work hard all day. I want to watch a
yeah.
movie that makes me feel good, and you're trying to make me scared or depressed or sad in my own home. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's a thing. All
Yeah.
right. What famous person in history would you want to meet if you could?
Oh man, again, probably Nikola Tesla.
All right.
I really, yeah, I dig all that stuff. Just the idea of like Tataria, free energy, perpetual motion. I think there is ether. I was very interested recently that ether was actually on the periodic table,
Yep.
AETHER, and then was taken off right around the same time that the Rockefellers decided that they wanted to make medicine out of oil instead of plants. So, like, you find out a lot of things like that, and you go, that's interesting. But yeah, I think Nikola Tesla would be pretty cool just to kind of understand, like, hey, does it really work? Like, show me this
Yeah.
thing. Can we really?
Yeah, no,
You know,
he's an interesting guy. He had all these ideas that seem like they had some like, I mean, as you know, the wireless connectivity and all this
yeah.
kind of stuff, but just he wasn't good at bringing it to market, any of it. There's really
Well, you
the
got kind of ripped off, and then when the FBI raids your lab and steals your stuff, I think that someone had their eye on you for a reason. But you know,
maybe so. I mean, they definitely seemed like there was, but he seemed like was harmless in the sense that he couldn't seem to bring any of it together. I mean, even when Rockefeller funded him, he couldn't stick to a budget. Not Rockefeller, I'm sorry, JD.
Edison,
Uh,
Edison, or who
no,
funded
no, no,
him?
not Edison. Oh my God, can I not believe that Morgan, JP Morgan, funded
Oh,
him
okay,
to
yeah,
do that
that's
big project. And he wound up doing something else. Like he gave him money to build one thing, and he started building another project. He lacked. Edison did not have the brilliance. Edison didn't have a lot of the things, but he had enough of the whole package to
yeah,
actually turn into something that people can use. What you're seeing with Musk, Musk has the brilliance, but also the business savvy to take and turn this stuff into something that people can use and change people's lives. I mean, what he's done to the cost of putting satellites in orbit has just been game changing. It's so much
yeah,
less expensive to put the same thing in orbit than it used to be because he questioned the paradigm. And so yeah, it's interesting. I love to see if he had the right partner, what Tesla maybe could have done. Would have been
yeah. Again, that's that bad business partner thing, right? Like you gotta work with people that have integrity. You kind of go through history, and again, who knows? We
Yep.
weren't there.
You don't
Um,
know. You don't know. It is very interesting stuff. One of the
yeah,
better, more fun conspiracy theories to lean into.
I mean, there's a couple cool pictures, and some of the tech, still exists, and I don't know. I think
Yeah,
it's go on the internet and go down some rabbit holes. It's always fun. Free
it's
energy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, the question is, could it really work? But if similar question though, what person from your past would you want to sit down with and have lunch with today if you could?
Ooh, person from my past. Interesting. Um, I don't know. Maybe one of my great grand. Yeah, I know. So my great 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 somebody. Um, my mother told me and did like a genealogy and has his name. Um, uh, Thomas Wallace Ziegler. That was his name. Was like the
Oh,
youngest drummer boy in like the Revolutionary War. He was 14 years old, and the reason that he was a drummer boy was because he couldn't hold up the musket. He wasn't strong enough to hold up the long arm. So they gave him a drum. So I think it'd be cool to maybe just talk to him and be like, "What were you thinking?" No,
What
but
was that
that'd be,
like?
yeah. What was that like? I mean, I'm fascinated with history, because there's a lot there, and we're missing pieces of it. A lot of
Sure.
things can't be explained. But living in those times, the things that this country's been through, the things that we've been through, again, it goes back to that, like, that was my relative who survived. That kid, 14 years old, he survived enough to have a family and pass down, his pass off the generation to generation, and here I am. So, I take pride in that, for him, and also
Yeah.
that I'm here, and then I just want to pass that on to my kids. So maybe someday my great 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 grandkid will be like, I wish I could have met Grandpa Brett. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it is. I mean, it's hard to ever watch that movie, The Patriot, and not have a
Yeah.
tremendous amount of respect. All right, guys, let's stand shoulder to shoulder and march at those guys that got a bunch of guns pointed at us. This seems like a great idea.
Can't wait for this rock to come flying at my head.
No, and the cannonballs, and I mean, just like,
I know.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I
Yeah,
have
no,
some that were dug up from Gettysburg, some cannon and grape shot, and it's
yeah,
just little cement balls just flying through the air. Crazy.
yeah, no, I mean, just insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Brett, if you had to go back and give a younger version of you a piece of advice, what would the one piece of advice you'd go back and give a younger version of you?
Oh man. Avoid fast cars, fancy women, and bars. I think, I was in the Marines for a while, so
That's
I
part of
got
basic training in the Marines. What do you mean?
we had to. I had to. It's part of it, but yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, just if you knew then what you know now, sure, right? Like, of course,
totally a thing.
I wish I would have bought some Facebook, Google, Apple, Tesla
Amazon.
stock, Amazon. Wish I would have
Yeah,
bought that. Bitcoin. I remember Bitcoin was being given away at like Atari conventions and stuff. I mean, you're talking like I could have been a bazillionaire. But
yeah.
that's the great thing now, right? Because here I am now. I'm not retired. I'm not living on some yacht somewhere, some rich, brat. I'm here innovating for the next generations and trying to fill in the gap. So,
I love it, man.
maybe I can be the next Facebook that people can invest in.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You should be better suited to answer this question than most of the people that I ask it to.
Okay.
Who would you want to be stuck in a foxhole with taking fire? Who was the person you'd pick to have in there with you?
Ooh. I mean, I have some buddies that
I would imagine so.
remain nameless that I would trust more than anybody else. They'll show
Yeah.
up with a gun and a shovel, but those are good friends. But
That's kind.
honestly, I would stand shoulder to shoulder with any true American, faithful patriot who like really believes in what we have here, and because what we have here is the greatest thing on the planet,
Yeah,
and
man, it
it's
is.
not without flaw, certainly. But I mean, it's amazing. Go find another place where you can live better, just generally, than here, with more freedoms, and whether it's for individuals, families, women's, religious, whatever, what
Yeah.
have you. Like this is a very unique place, and we need to preserve it because it truly is one nation under God.
What amazes me, Brett, is it's the people that are from here that don't appreciate it. The people that come here from other places, they're thrilled with it.
Yeah,
It's only us because we're so spoiled by what it's given us.
complacency is a disease. Comfort is a bad place to be in. If you're comfortable, you're stuck.
Yeah.
You need to constantly be uncomfortable. You should constantly be pushing yourself to a place where you don't feel at ease, because you'll find the breakthroughs there. That's when it comes to working out or innovation or whatever.
Anything. Yeah. No,
Anything.
it's on the edge of of suffering.
Exactly.
So let me ask you this, Brett. What do you do to unwind?
I like to hunt, fish, hang out. I still work. I still do entertainment stuff. I shoot a lot of shorts with my kiddos now. That's fun.
Nice.
And then, yeah, just, I like being outside. I love the sunshine. I like getting up early and watching the sun come up and, feeling the warmth. And yeah, I like the outdoors. I love being outdoors. That was my past. recreation kind of life, and just what I like to
Nice.
do now when I'm not, it's because mostly I sit at a computer now, so that's just terrible. So I like to
Yeah.
go out. Yeah.
And see the world that you're fighting so hard for.
Go out and be alone in the woods sometime as the sun's going down, and you start to get that like feeling crawling up your back where you're like, I'm completely prepared for this, but I'm totally alone. They're
Yeah.
they're unique places to put yourself in. And then I always think like there's might be a giant alien or something that's like living out. I'll find Bigfoot one day or something.
Be my luck to proved it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
As a meal. Um,
Yeah, exactly.
so what's next for you, Brett? You're obviously an entrepreneur. You're working hard on this thing. What's the next project? What's the next thing?
Yeah, so I mean, we're launching this, and we have the latest version's out now. I just got a notification that my programmers are putting out a new version now, so this is great. This is our big news right now. We're going to push and promote and just get people. It's a free app, so you download it for free on any smartphone, and then you qualify for all the great deals and everything that we're doing beyond that. So right now, the project is to just get people aware that there are other platforms out there that offer information and knowledge and connectivity and communication and community, and also offer emergency response and emergency preparedness. Because I think what we're seeing in the world right now, even though seems like we're getting the government back in line, no one's coming for you. At the end of the day, you are your own first responder. You're the first one on scene when you're having a problem.
Yep.
So you need to be able to handle that problem as best you can, because if you pick up the phone and try to call someone, if the cell's down or the Wi-Fi is down, you're not going to get a hold of anyone. And even if it's up, you're going to wait 20 minutes, 30 minutes, however many minutes it is till someone shows up. So, being able to communicate, being able to access information, being able to prepare yourself and prepare the ones around you. Because if something's happening to me, I want everyone around me to know how to take care of me if I'm not, if
Yeah.
I'm the
Yeah.
one that needs help. So, it's a little bit selfish, but it's not. You just want to be able to prepare and take care of yourself and your loved ones, and that's your responsibility as a human, as a man, as a woman, as a parent, whatever. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what we're doing. We're launching the app. Here we go.
So what's the name of the app again for everybody?
So it's Galileyo right now. You can go to the satnews123.com and download the app right there. We may change it. I'm thinking about a change name for the app, but right now, yeah, it's just on our website, GALILEYO, or satnews123.com. That's our link, and you'll see the prompts for the downloads on Google Play and Apple Store. So
Beautiful. Last question I have for you, Brett. People want to
brother.
talk to you. They have questions, whatever. Where can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on the app. I'm on some of the social medias. I work through the company. Really just I'll be on our new social media platform. I'm already on it now, and so you can just come and find me there, or come to the website, shoot us a message, give us a call. We're always around. If you have a specific question for me, you can track me down. I'm not that hard to find.
Good
So,
stuff. So it
yeah.
was what was it? Sat News 123. What was it again? One more time.
Yeah, satnews123.com. So
Is,
satnews123.com.
is that
That'll
the
take you
digits
right.
123 or is it?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yep.
All right, cool.
Digits.
The numbers, not the words. Zero and
Numbers. Yeah.
yeah. All right, cool. Brett, thanks so much for your time and for hanging out with us. It was great learning all about what you do.
Thanks, Josh. I really appreciate you, brother, and I'll talk to you soon, man. God bless.
Yeah, to you as well, and to our listeners, thanks so much for hanging out with us and listening to what Brett had to say, guys. Super cool stuff. As I always love to do before I sign off, reminding you there's never a good excuse not to know your shit. Till next time.